I lead the international ecosystem for Insta, building the organization for the last 5 years. Am I audible? Okay, now better. Yeah, so been with the organization for the last 5 years. Volunteer, have been actively supporting Headstarts, worked with more than 300 plus, I don't give a count, but just a rough number, top of my head I can count it, in helping them in their journey. So it could be mentorship, it could be investments, it could be product. We work with the government as well, led some of the programs with PTIO, with the corporates like Meta, AWS, around enabling startups. That's the core focus, that's what I love, that's what I do, and that's why the community over here together for us to do that. One of the things that we certainly have seen a lot happen over the last, I think, 5-10 years, and have been people leading that part, has been the entire collaboration between startups and corporates. Right? At one end, we think about startups and corporates as more competition, where startups are now challenging the corporates, challenging the status quo, trying to build in and become bigger. So why are we talking about the partnership? Right? It's a very competitive environment that we live in. But what is this partnership about? And that's exactly what I would love to cover in this topic. There is a massive value that we see with corporates and startups working together. And that's why we have an amazing panel today to talk about how that really works in. So with that, I'll first invite Ravina on the stage. Ravina Tilwani is the ex-scale-up lead at Marico Innovation Foundation. So Marico Innovation Foundation is an impact-driven organization, part of the Marico Group, one of the biggest FMCG company based in India. They have been actively supporting sustainable startups, impact startups, right? And it's a very interesting mode as a foundation. Why are they working and how are they working? That's something I will love to learn with you as you come in. But please have a seat, we'll start a chat in a few minutes. Thank you so much for joining us. Second, along with Ravina, we also have Sumit. Sumit Kumar Singh is one of the active members of the startup community back in India, recently moved into Dubai as well. He is the product guru, is what people call him, and I'm calling him right now. But thank you, Sumit, for joining us. Sumit has, again, both at Microsoft and personally also, he has really worked closely with startups as part of these corporate innovation programs and personally as well in their product journey. And Sumit would love to hear your also insights on how and why the startups take value out of these. Right? So please join us on the panel, we'll go more deep in that. The next that we have is a very special person, someone from this ecosystem for the last more than a decade, an entrepreneur and now an entrepreneur, someone who has led innovation and one of the leading companies in UAE, seen the entire innovation journey, and now has taken his own path of starting that innovation journey. So please welcome Sathish on board over here. Sathish, thank you for joining us. And finally, a very dear friend, someone I've seen very closely in the last 6 months grow minds and bounds as an entrepreneur itself in this ecosystem. Coming to a new place, starting your venture is not easy. Dubai is not easy as a founder. And we would love to take all the support that we can get as we are building that up. And for that, I would love to invite Olga on stage with us. So Olga is the founder of GLOCAL along with Andre and they have been part of a couple of programs that have taken a lot of benefit out of that, and would love to hear your journey and the value as well. So this is the panel. Please round of applause for the panel. So, Ravina, we'll start with you. First, welcome to Dubai, a very recent move. Congratulations, finally making it through. Would love to, understand one very basic question. Why does a foundation run an innovation program? Like, why? Like, that's the, it normally gives funds to NGOs to do things. Why innovation program?
Thank you for having me here first. I think I'm so glad to be part of this community because everybody shares the same interest. And just to answer your question, the main reason why I have done it at Marico is because of their corporate social responsibility. Every corporate has to follow that, and we decided instead of giving the money to others to do it for us, we thought we'll do it better. So nurture more than 50 plus startups, all in impact ecosystem. We can be from agri, health tech, plastic sustainability, and we take a lot of pride in that as well. It is the value that we were able to drive. We don't see others do the same thing, right? So that was the main reason we had done it. People very often think it, this is a foundation, they might not do it, how they are supposed to do it, but I completely disagree. We have put our heart into it, so
I think that's amazing. Just to give a background also to the entire group over here, right? A lot of CSR funds are now slowly going towards these innovation-led activities, right? One of the basic issues that we had with CSR, while across governments there's a mandate of investing that money for social good, but that's not sustainable in itself. Right? An NGO is not able to survive without CSR funds. And that is basically unsustainable way itself. And that's why we see a lot of programs where now investments are happening on supporting startups because they believe that they are not just bringing an impactful solution, but they also are bringing a method to be able to create a long-term value out of it. So we have Marico, we have Qualcomm, we have Microsoft, we have all these big funds are actually creating value in innovation itself. A lot of the UN-based organizations are also now actively supporting innovation. So if as a startup you are working in impact area, you are solving some of the SDG goals, do look at some of these funds, right? There's a massive value not just in money, but even the support to help you get there. I think that's one beautiful job that Marico is doing. Thank you, Ravina. So, thank you guys. Yes, let's keep the applause up. I think there's a good work going on over here. Let's keep the energy high. Sumit, you working with startups for like N of years. I think you are like one of those guys who's corporate but who's startup guy always. And been part of so many programs as mentors, right? Would love to hear your views on what is the real intent of corporates doing this and how are they actually adding value?
That's a very interesting question actually. So one of the amazing analogies that my professor at Harvard Business School gives is that startups and the large corporates, look at it this way, you have a big, you have a giant ship and you want to steer it, and the startups are these really small tiny boats on the side. So they can really move fast, they can steer, they can navigate the landscape, but it takes time to really navigate that big ship and the cruise ship to turn. So what you do is that you make these smaller ships to go over to the market, test and see if there is validation, what we often call as product market fit in my world. So I'm a product guy essentially. So I look at growth and those kind of things. But essentially that's the idea. Doing a validation of an idea at a corporate level where there are so many gates, right? As against that, you make a small fund, probably give a different name to it, let people really run wild with it, see if there is enough value in it, and once they grow, then absorb them into that's what happened with ChatGPT, right? So now the ChatGPT is kind of proven, we are bringing them back into PowerPoint, inside of Teams, inside of Viva, and things like that. But imagine building that something inside Microsoft. Oh my God, that's not possible.
I think perfect example is actually able to bring that policy, right? Like ChatGPT just shows how corporates are actually working with startups. They give them the freedom and the space to work, but as soon as they're able to prove it, you see Microsoft as the first corporate to quickly embrace ChatGPT on all their products. It is not happening right now. It has been happening for a while. It's that we get to see it right away. But that's how corporates are actually investing in startups. So as a very innovative venture, as a venture of building strong tech, right? Sometimes it's very difficult to build that same solution for corporates. Majority of corporates are actually startups, right? They have done that journey, but with the momentum building, with the mass building, it's not easy. Like you mentioned, the entire ship analogy over there, and that's why these small boats become an amazing way to actually test, validate, and then collaborate on that part. Sathish, over to you. come from their entire background of first leading innovation at Emirates. Let's first go there, right? How is the culture of driving innovation in this ecosystem, in your ecosystem? What are some of the top challenges that corporates are facing? And how are they, seeing startups, to be honest?
Hi again. I would like to add one point to what Sumit said. All this innovation labs and all the innovation process, it came into enterprise approximately during 2008. That's when so many startups came and they started disrupting the big guys. The Fortune 500 table, if you guys remember, was completely shattered after 2000. So many guys went out of business. That's when the big guys, the big enterprises and corporates started thinking that should we wait for somebody to come and disrupt us or should we disrupt ourselves? So immediately 5 to 6% of the budgets were allocated for innovation. So there was a time from 2012 to 2016, almost all the organizations started setting up innovation lab. Okay, so that's how I came into existence in innovation lab. So I was a software engineer and from there moved on and this was catching up. So internally they started picking up people who is slightly different. Okay? You can even call them crackpots. So instead of doing the 7 to 3:30 job, somebody who is excited about this job, passionate about technology, those guys were picked up and they were put in innovation lab, and that's how they started disrupting themselves. This created a syndrome called as not invented here syndrome. So within a big organization, there are multiple departments. Each department is almost like a company. And if one department, which is called as innovation lab, and has a nice title, and they can go out, they can talk, they can partner with anybody without following the organization's rules. And when they try to introduce something to the organization, other departments, they kind of, it was not invented here. That idea didn't come from my department. Kind of the thought process was there for some time. But later, if you notice, post 2016, product-led growth started a lot. People moved out from sales-led growth and they started doing product-led growth. And most of the product, Lola is working on product-led growth, and I'm also working on product-led growth. And most of the product-led growth happened just because of disruptive innovation. And those disruptive innovation, we figured out that it is not coming from inside. So that's when all the innovation labs kind of dissolved and they opened up ecosystems. So where outside startups can come and it can work with the big enterprise, and that is working so far really well. Microsoft is a very big example for that, and IBM has been acquiring startups left, right, and center. And about, of course, Google. I think every day they will be acquiring some 4-5 guys, for some good. So that's how innovation has been disrupted. And the challenges, apart from the syndrome of not invented here, he gave a very good analogy. A big ship being steered by a small ship, that's not easy at all. So organizations, they live with huge enterprise architecture. The enterprise architecture has to follow ISOs and many things, data architecture and things like that. It's not easy to suddenly bring a startup, bring a tech and integrate into Microsoft. I'm sure they would have been planning for this for ages. Once the ChatGPT is ready, let's integrate into our Office 365. In fact, if you guys remember, Office already had one small ChatGPT. Does anybody remember? Exactly. So there was a small assistant. He used to help, not now, my days. When I was young, when I had a lot of hair, and when I was slim, this thing used to come out and it used to ask, I think you are creating a document, shall I help you save it? Shall I help you format it and things like that? So that's how it has been evolved, right? So in the Office 365, now for them it's very easy to integrate ChatGPT. And not just Microsoft, many so-called startups which has gone to IPO and exits and was crossed unicorn levels, they have also adapted ChatGPT so fast, starting from this Vimeo, many companies. A
perfect in this. I think, nothing to add over there, just the way you talked about the entire history itself of how innovation has delivered in the corporate side. Very insightful. All that to you, like, as a founder, building a solution, B2B, product-led growth, coming new in this ecosystem, right? Without the support of, let's say, Infive or founders, right? How is the life of founder?
I'm really grateful for Infive, for Founders Hub, and all other corporate responsibility companies that helping startups. To be honest, when I was doing a research last year to figure out how I may incorporate, what should I do, how much does it cost? And Infive was the most affordable way when you are not earning anything and you need just to set up a company to prove does your business model works. And when you go, for example, to ADGM, they telling to you, okay, you need to hire the director, and you need to rent for this director specifically at Al Mariam Island, a specific place. And when I calculated how much it costs, so on Al Mariam Island, you may rent a place per day to your director, at least 130 dirhams. So you need to dedicate each day, working day of renting, to have a license and so on. And it's impossible to the startup, even inside of the program of supporting startups, to set up a startup there. You should be kind of seed company or maybe company that's shifting to Series A, because as soon as you have 4 directors, multiply on 4. And at Infive, you can pitch only with an idea. You may say like, I'm not earning anything, I have an idea, and they're telling to you, okay, pay for the office a year up front, license instead of 13,000 dirhams, only 1,000 dirhams, and go. You have a year to try. If you will earn nothing, then you will not extend your license. If you will earn something, at least you can extend 1 year more and try pushing yourself. And in case of Microsoft for Founders, it was very, very helpful to get at least Outlook and some messages and, for example, credits to OpenAI and credits to Azure to support our infrastructure. But the problem is from another side. Because when you're a startup, you may die next week. If you didn't confirm your hypothesis that week, next week you may die. In case of Microsoft, I'm not sure, is it allowed to say here, just my journey. It takes for me to get access to GPT-3, not 4, through the Azure from March till 16th of June. So I was telling to my customers, oh, we will invent GPT-3 updates for your website in April. Because like my developer said, it's like just 1 week development. I applied in March to to get that, and actually, was a really uncomfortable situation of not delivering, just because it's very, very slow. There was a process when Microsoft was calling to me on the phone, just, you need to open account, and I'm opening, oh, seems like you're not a partner, let's make you a partner first. And this is like bureaucracy that stops startups. Really, it slows down. Still yet, I cannot apply my Azure credits because it applied on different accounts somehow, and I cannot measure that. And still again, calls with the support, I don't have time to have a calls with the support, I need to deliver. So that's how you as a founder, even if you have somewhere some available credits, you cannot use them. And you're trying to find the simplest entry point as possible. And that what actually everybody does. And if you are not so quick to onboard this startup, you may lose them. But maybe later on, as soon as they will grow, they will come back to you because you have more functions, more features. But when you're starting, you are in a hurry, you need something very, very quick. And yeah, this is what I've faced.
So I think all that we
Can I add some points? That's very valid. But I had a different experience basically, so I just want to be I want to put Microsoft in positive. So So yes, she's right. There are few steps in all those things, but in both AWS, Google, and Azure, there are founder packages, right? So the founder packages are very easy to get. Immediately you get it. But after that, yes, there are some vetting processes which takes time. But in our case, we are fortunate we got OpenAI because as part of product-led growth, we provide videoification of your website. We provide community within your website. We provide customer success within the website, right? So OpenAI was needed first. We got it faster.
I think just to add on that part of it, I totally understand the situation as well. But that is also you have a lot of these SaaS companies or corporates having a focused startup division, right? Because if you go to the general route, like I still don't know how to get to a Microsoft call center. I've never been able to get it. But because we know the, let's say, the startup innovation lead at Microsoft, we were able to get to them and at least say that, hey, can you help me connect internally with the right person and help me move there, right? So a lot of these innovation programs that are done by the corporate are great if you are heavily using those tools for your venture, because what they also do they give you the inside access to it. Right? And that, for a lot of time, like what I mentioned, is a thing that founders lack on. Right? If they are able to get those, outside or inside into the bureaucracy, it just becomes super helpful over there as well. And Sumit, coming to Microsoft, we talk a lot about it as well. Right? What are your experiences of such programs for founders? Right? Because you've been more on the mentor side of it, right? How can a startup actually take the best value from such programs?
Good question. And to Olga's point, if you're still facing some issues, I will get you connected with them. That's where networking helps, by the way. And you have to know the right people at the right places, so when you're actually signing up for these kind of programs, make those connects. A lot of times I have observed that people they sign up and then they don't sign up in the right fastest way because they're obviously solving some other problem. But if you spend some time, take a week, just get the right processes, set up yourself nicely and spend that first week, more often than not, these innovation programs have a key account manager or a couple of their sales people from Azure startup or some other divisions to help you set up, which is also part of the customer success team. So you get connected with them, network with them, and it's better kind of just see if the setup is right. And mostly if the setup is done right, you don't need the material. But if the setup is there is a problem, you get the setup right, you get to know people, etc. That's definitely one way of doing it. Number two is get to connect with other startup founders within the community. More often than not, the corporates such as Microsoft startup program, we have over about like 5,000, 10,000 folks within India, and then we have Singapore market, we have Dubai market, we have a couple of the markets as well. You can actually get connected with other founders in that space if you are connected nicely and you're making the right moves. A lot of times people don't do that. If you're doing that, like Covers has it, Viewers has it, a couple of others have it, right? If you know that if you just navigate inside the community, you will find somebody else who already solved that problem. So you don't have to reinvent the entire wheel, you're probably done with it. So ask for help. Like Kumar says, right? Ask help always be with someone who asks for it. That's true for the startup world as well. A lot of times you don't ask for it. But if you ask for it, you'll always get the communication outside of it. So that's definitely one of my big key learnings there, to help someone to get started on it.
Absolutely. I think community is one of the biggest advantage that you actually get out of it. I think we have a lot of community folks in this meetup itself who would actually see that. Because there are a lot of problems, like even for Head Start or Microsoft or Insight, right? For that matter, or data science, liquid data science, like so many communities. When you ask founders, people want to help, right? Founders, especially, the type of journey that they have faced, the frustration that people have faced in learning through that mistakes, you would never want to see anyone else face that. And I'm absolutely sure about Olga also that that is one thing that you would never want. And next time a founder comes the same mistake, he only has an insight in terms of how do you come in. Right? So I think community itself becomes a super powerful way for it. The another value that Microsoft provides and a few other corporates like Microsoft does that, Infosys does that, and a few other SaaS platforms, corporates, is access to clients. So for a very select few startups within the founders hub also at Microsoft, they actually give access to their client pool also. Of course, they do the initial testing and everything else before opening that part up. But just imagine if through your corporate you are able to get into the B2E, the enterprise or the government clients. As a startup, all these big companies have a very big form, criteria that have to be mastered. Right? And they will never agree to anything less than that. But when a corporate recommends or through their program, that becomes super powerful. So that's also one very good value that we have seen startups actually take out of from such programs as well.
Other thing which a lot of startups do, like I know a friend of mine for Google for startups, he's been active in the industry himself. So a lot of times you get access to funds via these individuals. They will not really make those introductions as a part of the program, but in case if they find value in the idea, if they see that there is enough seed growth, then they are more than happy to put a small seed check in the idea and then help you grow as well. And that's I see that happening so many number of times that a lot of these founders, especially these folks in Google for startup particularly, then I also know folks in the X to 10X. These guys are investing personal checks to startups that are coming on board. So there is one part which comes in as a part of the innovation club, but if you have a really solid idea and it's proven even in the early days, you can have a pre-seed A round with these guys and they'll probably write a $500,000 check for you, which really opens up a lot of doors for you because now this is skin in the game for them as well. So they will lead your investment rounds, which is so much more solid as a proof of idea that you're almost kind of going to take off.
I think absolutely, Sumit. And you also mentioned very important part, and it's something important for every founder. Right? How do you navigate those relations? Right? You are part of the program, but being just part of the program doesn't entitle you to get all the values. There are some very basic values that every founder has, but every founder knows one very important aspect, which is hustle. Right? Like every founder is hustling. We had a few folks who are working in startups and they say, hey, our roles are not defined, we do everything. That's what founders' role is. Right? We do every single thing. One of the very important parts is how do you build your network. Right? If you build the network in the right way, you have founders who have raised funds and idea, and if you don't, you have founders who have amazing traction and they are just not able to raise funds as well. Right? And the biggest difference on that is the network. So when you go into the corporates, you are already talking to some really high profile, well connected individuals in these entities. How do you leverage them? How do you build the relation? How do you build that trust? That you can get them to do all of these things. That also becomes a very important, soft skills for founders to take actually value of. And on that, Sathish, to you, now coming to your founder's journey itself, right? After 10 years in innovation lead to starting your own venture, how much did that experience, that network, has helped you as a founder?
It has not helped. So I come from an enterprise background, and you were spot on when you said that enterprises don't take startups so easily. Okay, so they generally have master service agreements, and they cannot get a master service agreement with a startup because they don't have multiple services, they have only one service. So Emirates, how it has helped me is it has basically helped me understand how I design my product. So from day one, I had decided that I will not do B2C, I will do B2B, and I will focus on B2B for some time, and then after 5 years I will go to B2C. And the reason for that is when you start building product for B2B, it becomes really rugged. So it is enterprise safe, the security, the privacy, the GDPRs, you take care of all those things when you are building the product. Of course, when you build a startup, you have to think about the concept of minimum lovable product, minimum viable product, definitely. But even those 4 or 5 features which you are releasing, if you are vertically thinking of enterprises in mind, so that's how my 20 plus years of enterprise experience has definitely helped me. But I was fortunate in Emirates, so I grew really fast from software engineer, senior software engineer, technical engineer, principal architect, chief architect, and then head of technology innovation. And that growth happened because of going and talking to startups. So from 2015 to 14, I had a fantastic job description. I used to travel a lot to US and universities. And when you start talking to startups, you figure out that they don't have that enterprise mindset at all, but they want enterprise story. So that's when I started talking to them. That experience has helped me navigate through my Veehive journey. Veehive is not my first startup. Before that, I had Kumar. It was a ride-hailing service, and that didn't need any enterprise features. But we had to put it on hold because of the COVID and 1.5 years of shutdown and things like that. But the next startup, Veehive, from day one, I'm very slow. I have taken it really slow, and I'm definitely leveraging the architectures which I have learned, the policies which I have learned. And so, last part is it helping me get clients? Not yet. Okay, so it's not easy for me to go back to Emirates and view Veehive's plugin to their Emirates.com website. Just to get that approval, it would take 1.5 years. I know I have been on the other side. How we ask startups, go fix that, come back, go fix that, come back. And the startups, if you start focusing on one enterprise client, it will completely slow you down. So what cautious decision I have taken is, I have that knowledge, I'm implementing that experience in Veehive, but I'll go to big clients after some period of time. That's very interesting because I come from a B2C background. I have always been in B2C. Microsoft is the only large company that I have worked with. So I come from a fact that, from a world where we are releasing stuff every 2 weeks, we are doing tests in the market, we get validations, integrating Google Analytics is probably more important than adding a new button. So I come from that genre. So in enterprises particularly, you cannot do A/B tests. It is so difficult to do an A/B test. I'm not sure how many of you know this company called Yatra.com. So I built the enterprise side of Yatras. So PwCs and McKinseys of the world, they travel on Yatra. Doing an A/B test on those side of that ecosystem was such a terrible experience, or good experience now, I'm not sure about it. But I cannot do A/Bs, right? And as soon as I can, the PM Mixer app that I just built, right? I built it on Glide. I released it, 0 marketing spend, 0, and now today we have 1,000 PMs on that exclusive PM community. They give me feedback, I go back, I fix it. The day it crosses 1,000, I'll probably make an app out of it. But doing something like that for an enterprise, I just cannot imagine, because these guys have their own processes. So it's a conscious call that every startup founder has to take. Which side do you want to build? And a lot of those calls are eventually money, how much money you have in your bank account. So because you have to sustain the team, you have to sustain yourself. But both of these are amazing journeys. I just want to add one point. Very good. So basically, it's a call of the founders. So you have to take the decision. So basically, the new age mantra is you need to have 1 million ARR to get a good VC. Because gone are days where you take a PowerPoint slide, wear some cool clothes, come and pitch somewhere here and say, I have a great vision, I'm going to change the world upside down, and moon will be in the bottom, and immediately somebody will give you a check, right? Those days are gone. So we are evidently seeing that many startups have misled many founders. Of late, so many news we are hearing about it. So the new mantra is 1 million ARR. How do you want to get that 1 million ARR? Is up to you. So Olga may choose to work with 100,000 startups to get to 1 million ARR, or 100,000 businesses to get 1 million ARR, or Sathish may choose to work with 1,000 small and medium businesses where I generate 1,000 MRR to reach that, or somebody may choose to go to freemium way and they focus on passion. So now compulsorily either revenue has to be there or passion has to be there. And without these two, it's like,
Absolutely. I think very good insights in terms of how the entire world is shaping startups from the product perspective. B2C, B2B are two very different fields, but it's always good to have that perspective. And a lot of mentors are one very good access that you actually get to help you do. Because very few of us will have experience like Sathish, who understands technology so deep to actually get in. But we have that vision or that goal towards getting there. Right? So while the experience is something that we can't build, honestly, it is the mentors that we can actually get who could help us solve those parts out. Ravina, to you talked about Marico innovation, and you have been leading for the innovation and scale-up program at Marico itself. How has your work been with startups? What is the value that you saw Marico really adding in, and startups actually taking in these programs?
Yeah. So basically, what I have seen in my journey is, these corporates, they provide the mentors pool, like you just mentioned, right? They have some of the industry leaders working for them. So I see my CFO devoting time for the startups, because he was so passionate about the technology that they have built or the problem that they are solving, right? So he would devote time over the weekends. So this kind of mentorship you can get from the corporate. Plus you get there to use their technology, right? You get access to their network, which is wide, which is vast. Like Marico is a giant in India, so they might have connected the P&Gs, the Unilevers of the world. So that was very easy. You get access to the market, like you just rightly mentioned. So I'll give you a very good case that I saw. So we have this startup. They make plastic products out of bamboo, right? So we asked them if you can make the parachute oil bottle out of that, and then we'll go ahead and pitch to the Marico. We will not tell them. So we sent the sample to Marico, and they couldn't differentiate between the bottles. That's how they saw that something like this might it can be built from something like that. So I think corporates are very interested in these technologies because, like you mentioned, they do solve the SDG goals as well. And I'll give you two case studies. Like one of the company, Atom Work fans, they are huge in India now. They were our first success. So in 4 years, we could see their revenue going from 4 crores annual rupees to 160 crores, and now they are hitting somewhere between 700 crores, planning to have their own IPO. Because we could see the niche, right? We could connect to the right mentors. So that I think is very important because sometimes even a startup can't see what is their problem, and the mentor could see it better, right? So that was the good.
Wow, I think that's amazing. Adam is an amazing case study, by the way, guys. If you have some time to read about them, that's some massive work and the way they have grown out their startups. So I think with that, if you open up the floor for the audience, and if some of the any questions are there from the audience itself for this panel. Anything? Yes, Sathish.
If I may, I'd like to also share some more information on the eminent panelists, what they mentioned. I think it's all about the space that we are talking about. Startups as the space. The survival is the critical factor. So by defining the time, when you're talking about from the start to within 2 years, within 3 years, within 4 years, as you talk about longer times, there are very few startups who will any which ways survive. So my suggestion is for corporate programs to be effective, the right way is to go institutional. So corporates can align with the world of incubators and accelerators, and there they can run hackathons and other programs, and they can predefine the selection criteria. The startups that have already survived 2 years, like Olga mentions, one Sathish mentioned. So those have gone through the batches, lean and thick, and then identify through the hackathons and prizes, and then select those startups that can be befitting into what the corporate is doing, and then give them, the stewardship that Sumit was talking about. This is just my thought. There if any of the eminent panelists has any view on it, maybe just to make it more effective.
Actually, very good point. Just to add before the panelists jumps in, I just met a startup, few days back. They actually were doing a venture and they were able to take care of their first MVP cost through a hackathon. Right? So they signed up for a hackathon, they won $100,000, and that's how they were able to use that to get their first product out into the market and get into the market itself. And now they are about to close a $500,000 fundraise. Right? So that hackathons, I think, is a great way as well. Any money that the founders can get at the start, and not just money, it's also validation that they get from that pool. That actually becomes super helpful and useful also.
The moment you said hackathon, so many things has come into mind because I used to be in hackathon. Yesterday, myself and Lata, we had a huge discussion about how hackathons are conducted, how different types of hackathons are there. Hackathon is there, ideation, marketing is there, and then in enterprise choosing a startup and trying to solve a problem. That's also an type of hack. We are even discussing about how much should be the price money. So you say $1,000, $2,000, nobody is going to come. So we decided that $25,000, we keep it as a first prize and $10,000 as a second prize and things like that, right? So hackathon is definitely a very good way of integrating, and to Naresh's point, nowadays incubators have started this incubator to startup and incubator to enterprise. Presently has a program in this region. So they work very closely with some of the leading banks here, and they provide, of course, in Valley this is very famous, right? Most of the energy and all these big guys who are not very famous for innovation, they work with this institutional level.
I think just to put someone on spot over here, we actually have someone from Plug and Play in the Valley. Sahil, would love to get your thoughts on how such type of platforms are helping founders.
Sure, thank you. Just for the record, I'm not currently with Plug and Play, but I was previously. And I was there in 2016, so at the time corporate innovation was probably more in the nascent stages than it is now. And with the model that Plug and Play has, if you don't know, corporations pay for access to the ecosystem. Plug and Play goes out and finds startups and basically facilitates introductions between the two. So obviously the chance to meet people at Plug and Play from the startup perspective is really, really high. You've talked a lot about the opportunity for networking, getting access to mentors, and Plug and Play would host executives from all sorts of companies to come and visit and meet 3 to 5 startups at a time and get a chance to just validate whether or not what they're doing has meaningful potential for a pilot or a proof of concept. And from that point of view, getting in the door and working with an executive at a corporation just makes that whole process a lot easier in terms of getting top level buy-in and being able to actually get your product in an enterprise environment and see how it's delivering value. So to this extent in the region, I don't know too much about what Plug and Play is specifically doing, but I think from early stages of doing incubation and working closely with enterprises on what their core problems are or challenges are and creating solutions around it, lots of value there. And then also further down, if you have an existing solution that's already been validated and you want to get access to new markets and scale what you're doing, also a really great outlet as well. So I hope that's helpful.
Oh, thanks, Sahil. I also put someone else on the spot over here. We also have Basu with us. Basu has also been, a serial founder, a cyber security expert. He has also been part of various hackathons and actually run and leverage that funds to build his products as well. Basu, as a founder, going through the hackathons, what are some of your experiences over there?
Yeah, that's very surgical strike you have done. Yeah, so my name is Basu. I just came from India. As I said, mostly in India, but I've been doing business across the US and now Middle East. So as an early stage startup, I'm a tech founder. I am miserable at sales and marketing. So my way of promoting my product and service is through hackathons. So hackathon is, I've taken it as you can say my arsenal for doing 2 things. One is idea validation. The fact that I can build something in a very short span of time shows that I'm capable of building something.
and then somebody is actually appreciating it and I'm getting some sort of bounties is actually a fact that it's required. Somewhere, what kind of scale, I don't know, but it's a validation of idea. And second part is the cash component and the perks. So just to give you, last week only I got a $10,000 hackathon also. I'm a hackathon addict. That's what I say, although I'm pretty old, but I keep going back to hackathons because that's like a kind of it's a vacation for me from the day-to-day work. And I can build something new. And throughout my career, for my last 2 startups, I've altogether won around $200,000 worth of hackathon prizes. That became my alternate source of revenue. When I was not able to sell my product, I go to hackathon to make money and just fuel my product and development. So that's pretty much for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, So I have a question for the panel. Either Olga or Sathish can help with this. Startups over here have multiple options, from incubators to corporates. Zoho offers one, Freshwork offers one. There are multiple corporates offering multiple benefits for startups. What are the pitfalls which you see? Since there are many options available, what are the learnings which you have seen in the last 6 months to 1 year, which you would want to pass it to the startups? Because there are a lot of early age startups over here who are testing out to multiple programs. Your learnings would be really helpful.
Okay, so according to my journey, I joined different corporate responsibility programs for startups. One of them was HubSpot for startups, for example. They provide 90% discount for you to start your business with a HubSpot, but still you need to pay per month at least $90. So as soon as you grow, you go to, for example, $500 per month, and accidentally in 1 year it becomes $5,000. So you should be very, very careful with that. And when you're choosing different options, keep in mind what's gonna happen in 1 year, how much you will pay. Because when you're starting, sure, you need to check and take every possible, everything that gives you an opportunity to grow. And after you will grow, you may choose something cheaper, easier, but when you don't have options, use those things that are for free. And in case of Microsoft founders, for example, there is one very useful thing is discount for Stripe. So you don't need to pay any fees to Stripe, and as soon as you grow, sometimes even 500 in commission can play a lot of sense for you. And if I'm not wrong, maybe Sumit will help us. There is a possibility to incorporate in US using Mercury and Atlas that Microsoft co-founders also provide. But I didn't try it because I'm like a local founder here. So if you're familiar, what is the procedure? Because why I'm asking about that background? Because many investors, they're asking for a holding company. And when we're incorporating with In5, for example, or any other accelerator, we're holding only operational company. And if you, speaking with a fund, you need to have holding. And it's more expensive, more difficult, but with the Microsoft, seems like you may have at least a Delaware company very, very cheap before to go to ADGM. So can you help us a little bit?
We can talk about that. They stopped doing that in India because a lot of companies started to come to the platform only to get incorporated in the US. So again, what's your idea to come inside of a corporate program changes with the brand, right? But it could be possible still for the Dubai market and find it out quicker.
It is possible. So it's a good call to have a holding company. So when we started this idea, August 2020, when we became slightly serious, we came to In5. And in the beginning, you said it very nicely. Inside In5 is the cheapest in this region. So, and once after a year, when we figured out that people like this product and they're willing to give some money, we went for a near-shore holding company, which is ADG. So we set up an account there, and that's where we started onboarding all our investors. And then, like you rightly said, when you are tapping US market, the Delaware C Corp is required. You here answer yourself. Atlas is the answer. You can just go to Atlas, we created it in 7 days. So you have to just apply for it. There were 2 banks. One infamous bank is Silicon Valley Bank. The next bank is Mercury. Okay, so we applied for SVB. Fortunately, we didn't get. Then we applied for Mercury and we got it after several rounds. And then the moment this issue happened, we took out money from Mercury and we put it in holding equity. So it is possible. Okay, so you don't need help from this thing. But to your question, you asked 2 questions indirectly. One is, how is the startup ecosystem training here? The second question is free rates. Okay. So you definitely, I'll start with the second one. You will definitely know there is nothing free in this world. If the startup is locking up with Freshwork or Go, if the startup is locking up with Freshwork or Go, we are their clients. Okay. Eventually, like she rightly said, it will start with $15. One day suddenly it will be $500. But actually, those credits, according to me, doesn't help at the early stage. We are a startup. We want to be clumsy. We don't want to follow process. I talk to him. He inspires me on this thing. I want to immediately go and build it and add it to my product, so that my product roadmap. So at that time, what will I do with Zoho accounts and Zoho this thing and Freshwork and CRM? Excel sheet is more than sufficient for me to manage all those things. So that's not the help which we should be getting at that stage. If it is reverse, like you see potential in us, apart from just giving credits, if you can help us with our roadmap, with investments, that definitely would be, you know that you will become your customer in future. So if you have that trust, if you like our idea, and if you give us investments, that will be really helpful. Or if you become our clients, that will be more valuable for us. So that happens a lot in US. So that's my thoughts about this free credits. I generally don't apply those free credits because you have to keep an eye on that credit card thing, right? And the second part of your question is, how is the startup ecosystem thriving here? It is definitely costly to run startup in UAE. It's very easy to do it in US. We all know that. Okay, so they are the founders of startup, whatever, $150, $200 per month. You can run a startup there. Getting an address is $75 per month. So those things are very easy. Here, it sounds like a real estate play for me, like a business for me. I am a startup. My spending on infrastructure is costlier than my revenue. I have put more than 50,000 dirhams just for 1 year renewal, and I am not in 50,000 dirhams Yamara, or not even ARR there, but why will I take that revenue and put in infrastructure, for license and one space? You sit just in front of my office. My office looks like coffee. 10 feet by 6 feet. So it has to evolve. So it has to definitely evolve, but it is evolving. We see lots of good news happening in this region. Startup culture was not there before. Startups were considered mostly like brick and mortar. The investor in this region, not now, in the beginning, the first question they used to ask is, what is your revenue? And when will you return my investment? Boss, startups will not return their revenue. Startups will only but they used to ask questions like, as though you are running a coffee shop, and you are selling coffees, and the mugs get damaged, and what's the cost of mug and things. But it is definitely evolved, but it has to evolve a lot. The reason why Valley thrives is 2 reasons. One of the things is cost of setting up a startup in Valley is very cheap. And if you notice, all these startups, the famous ones, they are closer to a university. Harvard, MIT, Stanford, UC Berkeley, they are very close to them. So the students there, they come at very low cost and they give highest quality. So that kind of a setup here would be definitely helpful. Setting up, allowing startups next to an university would be one thing, right? And the second thing is concept of startup itself, which is, Volga is not my competitor. That thought process I should get. currently, the thought process here in this region, I'm old guy, so, I have seen things evolving, 20 years in this region. Sorry for my, boring history. In the beginning, if I find out that Olga is a startup, I'll not even say hi to her. I'll be afraid that she will steal my idea, or she will be afraid that I'll be stealing my idea. I primarily came for this event just for her. I sent her a WhatsApp saying that I'll come and meet you because I'm open to talk, because that's how the Silicon Valley startups thrive. So there is a small formula that in 3 years 80% of the startups fail, and in 5 years 90% of the startups fail, right? The same thing happens in Valley. But why Valley is producing more unicorns? It's because the failed startups go and join with the successful startup. I give my knowledge, I bring my IP, I give it to you, your value will increase, not just from 4 or 5 failed startups. That culture, if it comes here, it will be groundbreaking. So imagine there are many startups here. We all know for sure that in this room only one startup is going to get success. As per between me and Olga, only one is going to be there. But for sure, why don't we all, set up, see how we can collaborate and, plan for merger or a JV or something in the startup ecosystem. And that's why Silicon Valley startups are still there.
Such insightful points, I think experience good and the entire difference that you mentioned over here makes it evolving is true. I keep hearing this, I spent a lot of time in the last 6 months talking to a lot of enablers and the ecosystem folks, be it investors, accelerators, corporates, founders themselves. This ecosystem is just at the right place of evolving to become very powerful. And the policies have opened up a lot better. The opportunities, the global network that we are getting in, as well as access to capital. But yes, the mindset of the community coming together, collaborating, I think that as founders, we've always figured it out. It's not an easy life. It is very difficult, slowly. It is full of downs. I know Olga was just saying that if I knew what my journey would be, I would not have done this. I want founders to know that. That's a fact, right? Founders' journey is not easy, but that's the reason why you have communities to help founders helping founders. Yes, sir.
Thank you, panelists, for very insightful thoughts. So I think this is very on the ethical side. So just a hypothetical, could be a real situation, but you are a founder, you're solving the same problem as a corporate. Like both of you want the same problem solved, but this corporate has certain shady business practices, they are corrupt. This is not 90%, it's just small 5-10% bad side of them. So now as a founder, do you sort of think about your survival and you turn a blind eye to all of those shady things that the whole world knows about? Or do you say, okay, no, we don't want any association with them. Yeah, we choose the harder path, like survival will be harder. It will be a struggle to solve this same problem. So, little confused as a founder, like, do you stick 100% to ethics or do you think about that larger problem as well?
I think I have two views over here, one founder, one as a mentor. So Olga or Sathish, anyone would like to go first?
Okay.
You can be honest.
I didn't get entirely your question, so I'll repeat and you'll tell me is it correct or not. So there is a problem on the market, both corporate and startup trying to solve it. And what did you mean about shady?
Some ethical problems, the corporate has some.
I want to repeat the question. I have the same understanding of the question here. Is the problem being solved by the startup in competition with the corporate, or are they trying to solve together?
No, they can solve it together.
So is the startup as a part of the corporate innovation program?
It's not a part of the innovation program yet. Like the founder is deciding if they want to join the corporate's program or not.
Okay, so the question essentially is there is a problem which needs to be solved, and now you can either solve it yourself, which is going to be difficult, or you join a corporate which may be bribing or doing something behind the doors to get it solved. So which choice do you take?
Actually, when startups starting their journey, they're thinking about the problem. And one of the most important things before to go on the startup journey is your desire to solve the problem. And your solution itself, it costs nothing while the problem isn't solved. And there is a question, does this problem actually worth to be solved? And if your goal is to solve that problem itself, not earn somehow the change your reputation there or achieve some shady deals, but to close that problem, deal with that. So it will not make sense for you how it will be happened. With the help of corporate or not, it's only inside of your brain can be that solved or not. Because, for example, we're taking, I don't know, casino or something. That is like, and if you're like a fan of card games, does it make sense for you? Does there's some corporate that's solving that problem as well? If they are solving and you have enough resources to compete with them, then go ahead, fight. But I assume that for me personally, I will never go in that because it's impossible to get that piece of the market. And if you may disrupt them using some channel, and you see that channel that may turns the game in another direction, then use that. If you fail, try a few more, but you may die, and you should understand that fighting with the corporates, competing with them or something, it's like a failing game, always. That's my opinion, that's not just a recommendation or something. Thank you.
If I understand your question correctly, you are a startup and there is a corporate, there is a possibility that you can help them, but they are shady.
Yeah.
And my simple answer is no. The reason is, yes, today we are desperate, we don't have that investment, and that $100,000 per month will sound really good, and the thoughts which will go into our mind is, I'll just use that money, develop the product, after that I'll cut that corporate rate. That's what will run in our mind, but the problem in startups is DD, due diligence. Okay, the moment you start growing, the DD will start getting tougher and tougher. Okay, so there will be a chance that your startup is really doing good, and in 7th year are going to do an IPO, and when KPMG or Ernst & Young, somebody comes and does auditing, and they figure out that you have done the business with a shady this thing, gone, out. So it will come and bite you later. So for that purpose, it is generally not advisable to work with any shady business. That's my thought. But having said that, the strategy which I am currently following is, I raised some money in the past. We call it as angel round, and that's almost over. But I work with big businesses to do R&D programs for them. Okay, how can we help them with the program? It may not be recurring revenue, but that revenue helps you not to raise money, and it extends your. So in those cases, you may shift from your thought process of product-led growth and going into solutioning and servicing. That's okay. Why? Because that money is definitely going to extend your runway, and that money is also going to shape your product. Okay, so one of the features which we introduced in our product was because of a corporate need, where they said, Sathish, I understand your web plugin, video application and all those stuff, but can you also have the customer success? So can somebody come and ask a question, can you use OpenAI to answer that? If I go back to my investor and if I say, can I take up this product, this much money is coming, they will say no. Why? Because it is deviating from your North Star, right? But I took a decision to take it. My runway is extending, and now in my plugin I'm able to give that to all other customers, so that's it.
So maybe that will help you. Maybe you heard about company Cloudflare. They're one of the biggest content delivery companies. But just like small guess, there is no internet so much information to deliver except of one specific type of the content. And they deliver that specific type of the content worldwide. Like they have a huge network, and we should say thank you to those of that company, because we may use that with our wide businesses. But it's a kind of engine for the progress somehow. For those who was not able to pay for that type of infrastructure or so on, another type of the businesses, they grew that up for others. So from one side we should say thank you to them, from another side it's illegal things in particular countries. So it also the question of your own insight, if that type of things is right to you. And for example, right, my personal website based on that infrastructure as well. But for me, it's very, very cheap, almost free. I'm not paid for service or so on. So we may say that that company that would helping to shady companies as well, that gave them an option to help to single entrepreneurs, I don't know, mothers, grandfathers, everyone, to get infrastructure almost for free or free. So it, as I said, something that you need to answer your own. Like, do you see future there?
That's a very interesting question, actually. A lot depends on what do you want as a founder. What's in it? What's the game here? Are you passionate about the problem? Or are you looking for distribution, such as in the case of Marico? So if I'm going into a partnership, for example, in this particular case, I would go to Marico if I'm able to solve for distribution. I don't care if it's shady, if my product is actually getting distributed. Once it's distributed, I get enough branding, I'll probably figure out what to do with that. That's one approach. The other approach is, am I really solving a problem that I am passionate about? The Uber journey, for example, right? Airbnb, similar case. They got enough resistance from the regular lobby, so to say, right? They solved it, and today it's a massive business. The Kareens and the Gojeks and the Grabs of the world, they kind of wrote the same model, so to say. Now the question, again, coming back to is what's in it for you and what kind of a short-term or a mid-term, long-term objective that you want to achieve. And if it's a pro bono, if it's money involved, is it your money, somebody else's money, tons of permutation combinations available there. And I'm sure you must have faced a lot of these problems wherein an NGO comes in and now the corporates try to move the money around via the NGO's route or not-for-profits route. Now what does this company do? They've already been guided by these large companies, they have enough pride on their shoulders. And now this large organization is basically saying, hey, you know what, I'm giving you a 200 million or a 20 million kind of a check, which I need to route via your NGO to be given to somebody else. It's a very, very common scenario. What do you do at that point in time? It's the question about not just ethics, but also relationships. What is it that you want out of it? Is it really hurting your brand, your product, your own ethics? I've known some people who walked out, some stayed back. There have been success stories on both sides.
Ravina, your last thoughts on this.
So I guess I'll give one, thought to you all. Before you sign to any of these programs, do your due diligence. I think that is very important because I've seen both kind of founders. One who do not apply for any kind of program. They want to do everything on their own, which is also not something that how can you grow. And second, who applies for all the accelerator programs. So now they are getting mentorship from 5 people on one subject. And they come to us and they are like, but this person said, do it this way. So that's how they're confused. So maybe choose the person that you want to stick to. You do your homework. You talk to the past cohort members, see how they got benefited, their network, like Sumit mentioned, see their reputation in the market, and your longer term goals if they align with the accelerator's goals as well. So I think that is very important before you blindly sign the NDA with everybody.
Oh, beautiful, Ravina. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, everyone. But thank you so much, everyone, for coming in. Thank you for this entire esteemed panelists joining us. A real pleasure to have all of you with us sharing your experiences. We are still open for networking, guys. So, if you have any questions, do have a chat with the speakers or with the fellow members in the community. Thank you so much. We will have one. So this is only for the panel. Over to Guna.
Thank you so much, panel members. Very insightful discussions, a lot of takeaways. And thanks everyone for joining today and being a Saturday, spending time with the startups and ecosystem. And thanks to Head Start for collaborating with our Dubai Tech Talk. So we are looking forward to have many more days. Thank you so much. In fact, we used to conduct on Fridays, being the last working day in the same campus, and only for Head Start, we have compromised, and thanks everyone for joining in, and keep collaborating with communities, and we wish you success in your journey. And we also would like to thank the volunteers, registration, photographers. Thanks everyone who contributed. And specifically, we would like to thank retail media and for covering this event. And